Yo, it's YF Dizzy, and you watching the Red Pill Experience. And today on the show, we got a real treat for y'all. And I'm talking about specifically food, because we have, a professional chef, a man with his own restaurant, has had a couple of restaurants actually. Well, I don't know if I could call them restaurants, but just businesses where he would be the culinary expert, in the field. And actually, a really close friend of mine in the studio today, we got the one, the only, Austin Odom. What's going on, my guy?
Not much, man. How are you?
Man,
Appreciate you having me.
Man, I feel good, man. I'm happy that, he finally came through. It was a couple of weeks you was playing hide and seek with me.
It's really been years.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a while since I've seen you.
Man, a lot has changed, man. So you got your own restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
You got, a couple businesses, and you married with a kid now. Tell me how that's going.
What happened?
Yeah, what happened? From the Austin Odom that I knew back in the day, you done came a long way.
Man, a lot of things changed since Tarleton.
Yeah.
We didn't even know we were roommates. We didn't even see each other for like 2 weeks at a time.
For people that don't know, we was actually roommates, and Jared, I was going to actually move Jared in, because I was like, I guess I don't got no roommates.
This guy's never here.
Yeah, this guy's never here, so you could come stay in this other bed, but eventually you popped up, it turned out pretty good.
Yeah.
But I do want to say, shout out to Shannon Odom, because I feel like that's what got you on the straight and narrow,
Yes. Yeah, I'm not gonna doubt that. Like, once you find someone that you're willing to like straighten out for.
Yeah.
A lot of great things have happened since then because of that,
Mm-hmm.
And then including, like you said, kids. You got one as well.
Yeah.
Another one.
Yeah, another one. Yeah.
So, like after that, even being married to Shannon, that's when I started going a different direction and really focusing on my efforts and my time. But then when I had Violet, it's like not even the same anymore. Like
you can't mess around no more.
There's no time to be doing anything that's not
productive,
center line focus, whether it's even time with her or time at the restaurant, whatever it is. There's no time for like the BS.
You can't waste your time no more.
No, you can't. And you can't get in any trouble. You can't. I mean, there's all types of stuff that I don't look at the same way anymore. At all. So it's good though. It's good because it's more productive.
And I actually feel like an old person now, because I don't know if you heard, Dodge, they have a minivan, but they put a Hellcat engine in it, and I was excited. I was like, ooh, I'm gonna get me that minivan.
Would you get the TVs on the back of the seats and everything?
And I looked at my girl. I said, I'm getting old.
Yeah,
I'm getting old. I'm excited about the minivan. Yeah, but I feel like y'all's journey actually did start at Tarleton. Well, obviously y'all met at Tarleton, but tell me how Fresh Prep, because that was your first business.
That was where it all started. Everything.
How did that start?
Entrepreneurship has always been something that I always welded in high school, and I sold all the stuff. I welded barbecue pits and that. So like, I've always had that thought process. But then I met Shannon, and she was cooking for a couple of professors, maybe 8 or 10 people, just doing their meal prep.
Yeah.
And but she was delivering it in Walmart bags.
Damn.
But she's a good cook, obviously.
I
mean, I wasn't even a good cook. She was the cook. I didn't do anything. I was just like, those Walmart bags don't look good. Like, let's put it in something else. So we went to Dollar General and bought party bags.
Yeah. Birthday. Happy birthday.
Yeah. And that stuff was nuts. I mean, it didn't look good either, but it was a step,
A step up.
And then we started, just made the Facebook page. And then I moved out to Clovis, New Mexico. Yeah. Middle of nowhere.
Sheesh. What were you doing out there?
Working on the windmills. Those big
300-foot
windmills.
Nah. I am scared of height. I ain't finna be up there.
No, it was terrible. Honestly, the place, I don't even go to Clovis. Just stop at Lubbock if you're gonna go west.
Just stop at Lubbock.
Skip fly over something.
And then like catty corner
into
Colorado. Don't go to Clovis.
Yeah, you can go north and then keep going west. But don't go through there because it was terrible. But I was working 60 hours a week.
Sheesh.
There on the windmills, even if we call it 40 hours a week, a regular week. And then Shannon would cook everything on Thursday and Friday. We would pack it up in our truck and drive 7 hours to Dallas, Fort Worth, Cleburne, these towns, and deliver all those meals in a Yeti cooler where it was like, it was all cold and safe and everything, but it was still like, for 20 weeks, like 7 hours here, deliver all weekend, 7 hours back, and work all week.
Oh man, so you ain't had no break.
Nothing, not a bit of break. But that was when we started reading more entrepreneur books and just all these little self-help books. What most entrepreneurs get started with, they're kind of like sick of doing the normal thing, so they'll go to half-price books or something, and they'll buy something. And for me, it was that 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. It was just like opened my eyes to wow, like this dude seems crazy to most people.
Yeah.
But to me, we can do that. Like I like that a lot. So we started implementing some of his ideas, and not everything. I wish I could do all of his stuff. I guess we could. I guess I would act on that because he does some
some crazy stuff.
Really like, intelligent stuff.
He said you can move to like Vietnam and live for like $400.
Yeah. He's just about that though.
Yeah.
He will do it.
Yeah.
Obviously, the one that cracked me up was when he was in that like a fighting kickboxing thing.
Yeah.
And he like did this water weight retention thing. So he was in this weight class, but then he lost all this weight to get in it, but then he immediately gained it back or something. And he basically pushed the guy out of the ring, which was legal for the fighting rules. So he was like the champion of the thing, but he has no practice. He was just so much bigger than the guy.
Yeah, he's like, I'm just big.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, that's crazy.
So I'm sorry, getting away from the business.
Nah, you good. So basically, you was like just trying to grind it out till you was living like nobody else. So later on, you could live like nobody else.
And still doing that. Like today I could read you my list of things to do. Every morning or every evening. Like last night, I made the list for today. Yeah. I'll go through and just text a list or put in my notes or whatever to myself. And just as I go through it, I check it off, and maybe add something to it or take something away. Yeah. But if you don't have a list, you're just not going to be productive, in my opinion, because I've been so unproductive for so long.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We used to waste hours doing nothing. Just walking around and stuff, but
nothing.
But let me ask you, so whenever it came to y'all's relationship, how did y'all find like the balance to keep it a relationship at the same time being like business savvy?
100%. And that's what I think in the beginning we were so like new to each other that it was cool. Like it was just part of the relationship for the thing. It was like all of it was new, so it was all exciting and it was all fun. But then we really, once things settled down and we got Fresh Prep going consistently, and we moved back to Fort Worth, we had to work on, literally, we talk about it still to today, is balance. Like, balance is so important, and I never thought it was. I thought it was always, like, full swing. Yeah, you got to be swinging, like driving 7 hours here, back and forth all the time, and that's ridiculous. Not saying you can't do that or shouldn't do that.
But there's seasons for everything. There was a time where you had to do that to, that was the engine to your business.
And if you didn't do that, then I'd be working on the windmills, and Shannon would be
still
whatever she used to be doing then. But now that we've settled all this out, we've got consistent income, especially with a baby. Like, we can't do that unless we don't want to see our child. Yeah. Or our relationship doesn't want to be at the best it can be. Yeah. Which is just as important to our child as it is us, because it's a whole
different dynamic that you never would have thought of.
No.
Until you can explain it to people, but until you have a child, you're like, damn, like this is actually important to her also.
Your actions, your verbiage, body language, and it's at this age it does matter. But I'm just really prepping up for when she's 2, 3, 4.
Man,
it's real developmental years. Because, like, you only get one chance at some of these kids.
Yeah.
Like,
you don't get no redos. They either going to go to college or go to jail.
No in between.
No in between. You either pass or fail. But
I mean, it's cool, though. Like, it's great. I love the position that I've put myself in. Because, we didn't, like, plan on having a kid.
Yeah.
I'm sure you didn't either. I mean,
mine was an accident.
It just happened.
First one was an accident.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And it's cool, though, because, like, we were both in a position that we were good to do that. So it was, like, I wasn't even worried. She told me, and we were like, all right, let's do it, like, cool.
All right, let's handle this.
What are you going to, I mean, what am I going to do? So, but no, she's great. I wish she could see her.
So let me ask you, because you had a lot of fun back in the day, right?
Absolutely.
So now I feel like me personally, comparing all the fun that I have now, even though it's a lot of stress to have a family and a child, I feel like I enjoy my life now more. I'm more fulfilled and more happy, and I actually just feel stuff to the fullest than I did back in the day. Back in the day, it was cool, had no responsibilities, do whatever I wanted, just do dumb shit, and it was cool
all the time. There's no repercussions necessarily.
Yeah. But now I'm more fulfilled, and I feel like a lot of people are not looking for a partner or looking to start a family because they feel like they're gonna miss out on this life. You know what I mean?
And that's hard to explain to people, though. Like, excuse me. It's hard to tell someone, like, alcohol and substance, like, that's what a lot of people live by.
Mm-hmm.
And that's seeing it from a sober point of view.
Yeah.
You know, where I'm at, I don't drink or anything like that because I've got so much that I'm trying to do. And seeing that from my old perspective in college when then maybe one day a week I didn't drink, if that.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's like you're talking about being fulfilled and all those things. It's almost like the person has to make a decision to give up alcohol or find it within themselves before they can even be explained to what it can be like even further down the road.
Mm-hmm.
I wish there was a better way to put that.
Like, basically, it has to be within yourself to want to do it,
100%. No one, I decided to stop doing what I was doing. And there's no reason I couldn't have. How many people our age are just doing whatever?
Yeah, and I know I have friends who have kids and they still out here doing the same thing they was doing 3 years ago. And I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
like you have a kid, like, when is the light? I thought when the kid came, the light was gonna come on, but you still doing the same.
Well, there's a time and place for that,
Yeah, definitely. I still have my fun. Me and my lady have our fun.
Absolutely, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just on that consistent basis of
every night. Who feeding the baby?
Where's the baby?
He with grandma again.
Get back in here.
Yeah,
she's outside or something.
Yeah. If your baby calls you John instead of Dad, I don't think you there enough, bro.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, because I was watching this Dr. Phil, and there was this lady who basically abandoned her 13-year-old daughter and, divorced her husband and now is living off her sugar daddy. And her daughter is living with, like, family friends. And she's saying, I was depressed and I wasn't my fullest self when I was with y'all, so now I'm happy and I have self-esteem and this, and that. And I'm like, bro, you is 30. Whenever that, you miss your shot at that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think that if you're in that position, there's nothing wrong with it. If you're willing to, like, too many people aren't responsible. And I don't mean act responsible. Too many people don't take responsibility, say, hey, this is my fault. Mm-hmm. I am the one who put myself in this position in any scenario. Yeah. If you are in any scenario and you're saying it's someone else's fault, it's you decide 100% of the time where to put yourself, where to be, how to act, what to do. All those decisions. So if your life's not going the right way, like you said, you had all this time to do it.
It's your fault.
It's your fault, but you can't. You just live with it now.
But I feel like now we live in a time where it's become the norm to blame everybody else for your problems.
Oh, 100%.
And I stand against that, especially towards men, where men are like, oh, my dad wasn't there, or, this or that. I never had the right opportunity. And I'm like, yo, you a man. Go out there and do it. Go out there, drive 7 hours back and forth to keep your business afloat. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what
people is out here doing it,
It takes more than you think it takes.
Yeah.
It is nuts. It takes more than you think. I can't say that enough times. It's not just gonna. And I'm not even there yet. Like, what am I talking about? We got a restaurant. That's great, but like, we're not there yet. Like, we're still. I told you my list. I got another list this long after I leave here. I'm going straight back, and I got a whole hog who's coming in. I got to butcher that. We got to paint. Some stuff in the bathrooms hasn't been painted. All types of work at Leens, and we're already open. But we're reinvesting money into the same business,
which is smart.
So when customers come, they're getting the best experience, returning customers, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But people, if they don't want, and it's not always about business either. If you want to be the best person, like, just pick something, work your normal job. You don't have, not everyone. I remember when I was insecure about being a business owner, honestly, and I kept trying to tell people, oh, you need to be a business owner. You need to be a business owner. Telling my family, like, oh. my sister Marley, oh, you need to drop out of college and do this. It's not for everybody.
Yeah,
it's really not. And there's places for everybody that they can really excel and be happy and fulfilled with their job without being an entrepreneur, if they will take the same steps and time to work on the other aspects of their life, whatever choosing that is.
Well,
you know,
that's what people don't realize is you just have to choose a path. At some point, if you like 25 and you still haven't decided what you want to do, like, it's getting to that time. Just start investing into your job, because I feel like a lot of people go to their job and just try to get through the day instead of trying to become the best. You know, if you work at Walmart and you stock shelves, why not try to be the best shelf stocker?
Well, that gets noticed. Too many people don't understand that, like you said, they just want to work the day. If you will change your mindset, too many people, like you said, getting away from alcohol and things like that. So many people look at it as, I'm going to miss out on the fun, rather than the way I like to see it is, I'm going to be the best I can be all the time. I want to be on my game. My mental is going to be sharp. I'm going to work as much as I want to, because I'll have the energy and the stamina. And then when I get home, my wife and I have a great time because we're both physically there, and we don't need to strip away that experience with something that's numbing. And that's not just alcohol. That's just an example of anything you can do.
Even social media and phones is something that people will sit next to each other and not even be there because they on their phones.
Go out and eat. Go out and eat. It's embarrassing.
Go take a walk.
It is embarrassing. We were on a walk the other day, like you said.
Every person is just
gross.
on their phone. Yeah.
It just makes you. And like I said, I saw an awesome quote the other day. It said, shout out to the entrepreneurs who want to quit social media but can't because you got a business to run.
And that's me. I've deleted my Instagram like 4 times, like not temporarily disabled, deleted. And I'm like, bro, I need to post my clips. I need to share my stuff, and I need to push my message, because nobody's just going to watch my YouTube video just out of nowhere.
You can't get your stuff out there without social media these days. And that you know what? That's kind of boxing entrepreneurs in too much. I don't like to say that, but
a certain realm, you know,
it's hard.
Content creators.
If how are you going to get it out there? Who's going to hire you? And like I said, I think there is a creative way around this, or more of an exclusive route. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but like when we did our pop-up dinners, getting into this restaurant, we mailed invitations out. Like I got letters and wrote letters to everyone and mailed those invitations out. It felt more intimate, I feel like, and we sold out of the dinner, so it went well. So is there a way for the modern entrepreneur? And I'm not one of them. I'm not doing it. I'm social media because I know. But is there a way to get out of that box and do something that's more meaningful?
At this point, I don't think there is, unless you're like going out there and meeting people, and that's kind of hard now because of COVID and
with
the regulations.
COVID especially, like a double.
So it's kind of like you need to be online to sell anything. You see Amazon and places that are online are like booming right now.
Oh, there's everything on that sector just shot up because and I guarantee it doesn't go back. Now that people know the full power of
DoorDash,
the internet,
Uber Eats,
schools. My parents are teachers.
Like
it has really changed the way they did things, especially for a while when they were all on Zoom meetings. I just don't see. Maybe the old school schools may stay in the same boat. But these new ones, I feel like, are going to understand the economics of it being online and go that route and just say, to heck with, most people are about money at the end of the day. So I just feel like they're going to go away from the things that cost money, which is personal interaction, big buildings, expenses, and
like reducing your overhead. And that's why you're going to see.
Twitter do it?
Well, yeah, and a lot of businesses like that, because my mother-in-law, she works for GM Financial, and they're working from home. And they said for the next year they're going to work from home. So at that point, why is there a reason to pay electricity, the mortgage on this building that nobody's at? If you could do everything that you was doing from there at home.
And let them pay for it themselves with their home bill or whatever.
Yeah, and it's more productive now because they're monitoring with the systems on the computer, so they have to do a certain amount of calls, this and that, and it's like more efficient and they're saving money. So it's
because the computer doesn't care who you are.
Yeah, it doesn't care that you're my friend or that you're feeling a little down. It's the numbers.
And that's what's scary. It's it's interesting.
Yeah,
because it's beneficial, but it's also a little bit scary.
There's
it's really
no human
a lot
factor
scary.
no more.
Mm-mm. And you go around like looking at people, and you only see. You know how hard it is for us to have a personal connection at a restaurant. Like your waiter and waitresses, and when I go out and Shannon goes out, and we talk to guests, like you go to a restaurant to. Half of the job is right here.
Yeah,
smiling
mouth,
and friendly, and now it's covered, and you're having to get that dialogue through your eyes, and then you're having to talk really loud, which is also negative a little bit because people don't want to be yelled at.
True.
And we're doing fine with it, but just I can only imagine what we'd be doing without it.
Yeah,
you know.
And that's something that I actually posted about. It's like that's perfect symbolism for them to start taking away free speech. Cover your mouth.
Yeah.
Even though it may or may not help, we really don't know because there were some scientists saying that the particles of the COVID are actually smaller than what comes in and out, and it's like, and, it makes no sense. But at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Well, that's what I have to do, as disregarding necessarily my beliefs or Shannon's or any of our employees' beliefs. Regardless of what they are, it's as a business owner when they come in the door, it's like, like I've got people driving a long ways to eat here, and we had someone come in the other day, because like again, regardless if they're right or wrong, they came in and they were just so happy we were wearing masks because they're like, no one down here wears masks like that, and we were going to go to another place, but they were all people everywhere and this and that, and turns out they had their family's friends who had died and this and that, just those stories that you hear, and it frightened everyone in their family. And so, like I said, no matter what's happening and what the deal actually is, we just gotta run with it. And we even market ourselves as being like a safe diner. And what that'll mean when everything
opens
comes
up
eventually, who knows? But right now, it's just what we're having to do. Wow. And it's like even coming up here, I asked you, I said,
you
get my mask,
your mask,
out of the car.
Yeah.
So it's weird though. It's really weird.
It's different. But speaking of your restaurant, tell us, a little bit more about Leens. Like,
it's
what did the idea come from, and like, what's the main things y'all serve there?
So the idea, we started doing pop-up dinners this summer because we had our cafe that ran Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
And that was or is a little bit of a lower price point, and it's great food. We just can't be as creative for $10 or $11. For a lunch price point, you can only do so much. So we were like, hey, why don't we do some pop-up dinners? And this is just for fun. We're gonna open a restaurant. It was like, I guess June, and we were like, let's do a pop-up dinner. So we go and we talk to all these restaurants around Glen Rose and try to convince them to let us use their restaurant for a night and do a pop-up. And we got no. All these people said no. And we finally went to this one old dude in Glen Rose who's a restaurateur. Yeah. And he's got like 4 or 5 restaurants now. And anyways, we went up to him and explained the idea. And he was hearing us, but he wasn't really until we were like, oh, by the way, Shannon was on Good Morning America with Gordon Ramsay.
Oh, yeah. Before we talk about Leens, talk about that. I actually wanted to ask, how did she end up meeting Gordon Ramsay?
It was nuts. So we're delivering food. Yeah. Okay, we're fresh prepping in a little van.
Yeah.
And I get out and go, this house to deliver. And there's a Twitter contest. Social media. Right there. Social media. Exactly.
Yeah.
And we do a decent job at promoting our social media via pictures. Like, our photos are pretty good. Not amazing, but they're pretty good.
I seen that little video y'all had too. That was a nice little video.
Yeah, well, that was that guy. That was all him. We just cooked some stuff and he videoed. Andrew, I could put his. I'll send you his link if you want to tag him. He does a really, really good job.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she saw a Twitter contest and put her photos of food on there, and it was just. Maybe he'll see it, maybe he won't. It's Gordon Ramsay's Good Morning America contest. Who knows? And then, like, that night, one of the reps from Good Morning America calls Shannon and says, hey, these are cool. I
like these, yeah.
Exactly. And so she did the whole interview on the phone, and I'm sitting there just as nervous as Shannon is. I'm not even on the phone. I'm just like, let's go, baby.
Yeah.
And so she goes through that process, and then that was a Thursday. Next Monday,
Mm-hmm.
they flew. They wouldn't even put me on the plane.
They
gave her one ticket.
Yeah.
They gave her one ticket for her, and sent her there to New York. And then I got on the freaking same flight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we ended up
Yeah.
riding together. But I had to buy my ticket.
Yeah.
We had to buy my ticket.
Yeah, let's split it, baby.
Oh yeah, exactly. And so on Monday, flew her up there, and we went. And I mean, now I got to ride in the limos and all that. So you know, but they really did the dang thing. I mean,
Dang.
put her, you know, in a limo and went to the hotel. It was this nice one down by Times Square.
Yeah.
Then the next morning, went on Good Morning America, and we got to talk to Gordon Ramsay for not a whole lot of time, maybe 2 or 3 minutes. And we were like trying to pitch our business. Stupid. I mean,
Yeah.
like he cares. Like he's got, you know,
He probably gets that like 1,000 times a day.
yeah,
you know?
exactly. So that was a false. You know, we could have thought about that one a little more, but
Yeah.
super nice guy. And Shannon went on the show or whatever and kicked butt and won the contest with this other guy. She cooked, I was like a California sandwich or something. And anyways,
Yeah.
it was cool. It was cool though.
Yeah, that's dope.
And got this big old trophy. I don't even know how we got it home off the plane.
Yeah, they
I'm
charge
surprised.
$150.
Yeah, right. So we're taking it. I'll pay what
Yeah.
it takes.
Yeah,
But no, that was cool. So she won that, and that was good for our business as well.
Mhm.
When you can say
Yeah, I've been on Good Morning America, you know. Met Gordon Ramsay. I won this contest.
that doesn't happen
Yeah,
often.
So that's how y'all got the
That's
first place
how-
to the pop-up?
Yes, that's how we got his attention essentially, and he was like, "Okay, we can do something."
Yeah.
And so we started doing a pop-up dinner based around Southern summers,
Mhm.
because I don't know if we'll call Texas the South. She won't call Texas the South.
Why?
She's from Louisiana. She's the West.
We're the West?
Yeah.
What? That's the first time I've heard that.
That's what I said too, but she considers the South Louisiana East.
I could see that.
I can too, but I don't
Yeah.
like to. You know,
Yeah.
no, I'm from the South.
Yeah, I'm
No,
from the South
yeah.
too, you know.
Yeah, but so we did that. It was based on Southern summers, and it was all just like pork chop, dirty rice, just stuff that you'd get somewhere, not often in Texas, but not happening in Texas. Just something I would expect to eat at a restaurant in New Orleans or something. That's the vibe we were going for, is, you know.
Yeah.
And so we did 3 of those once a month, 1, 2, 3. And then one of the restaurants came open that guy owned.
Yeah.
With COVID, they had to close down. And, you know, right now is not a terrible time to open a restaurant if you have working capital. Because everyone else is going out of business, essentially, and it's hard for them. And that sucks. It really does. But this is our time to get in there. So we took that space over, and we just renovated. And just paint 25 gallons of green paint on the wall. I mean, it's a pretty decent sized shotgun building.
Yeah.
So it's 16-foot ceilings. So I mean, I was running that pole.
Oh yeah, that's high.
I'll never underestimate painters again.
Sheesh, I know
I was
that.
like, oh, we're gonna get in here and knock
You
this
did
out.
everything yourself?
Me and Shannon, yeah. And
Wow.
we were about a week, maybe a week and a half out from opening, and I was like, me and you are not gonna finish this.
Yeah.
You know, there's no way.
Yeah.
Like, we got Violet in here crying the whole time. We're trying to hold her and paint and all this stuff, and we're just
She got a mask on.
just what's going on?
Yeah.
So I called my sister, and she
Yeah.
brought 2 friends, and then I got 2 of our staff members at Fresh Prep, and just said, hey, I'll pay you. I don't even care. Just come help me. Like, come on. So we knocked it out like a week later and opened up. And but to the concept is named after my great grandmother Oma. And Oma means grandmother, but that's also her name.
Wow.
So that was cool.
I did not know that. I always wondered what the name meant.
Yeah, and
Like,
then Shannon's grandmother is Willeen. So Oma Leens.
That's cool.
And both of those people had a lot of influence in our families with cooking. I didn't even know my great grandmother.
Yeah.
But I know my Grammy and Papa, and I mean, hunting. You know, you know me since moved to college. I mean, I've been hunting, fishing, butchery, cooking, gardens, fresh vegetables. That type of stuff has always been real prevalent for me.
Yeah.
And in Shannon, it was not as much hunting, but big gardens and biscuits and tomato gravy and that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's the concept. We got their pictures right there looking in the kitchen, so
That's dope.
we can't embarrass them.
Yeah, you got a high standard, you know.
Yeah.
They watching.
You know, grandmas
Yeah, they gonna smack you. That's from that generation too. They'll smack you quick.
Oh
you know?
man, Shannon talked about her grandma with a willow branch or something one time. I was like,
Yeah.
Yep.
You probably deserve it.
We need some more of that nowadays.
Yeah, we do.
We need some grandmas with willow
Yeah.
branches. I mean, just because now, golly, it's just
Everybody's too soft.
really soft. That's why they don't work like that, though.
I don't understand how that happened though. Like
Social media.
maybe, and everybody, participation trophies is what happened.
What did Ray Lewis? Something with his kid. It was like you wouldn't give it to him.
Yeah, he said no.
Take it away.
The same thing. If my son get a participation trophy, I'm gonna stomp on it. Say try better next time.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do all that, but
Still, no. There's something to be said about. That's like a whole conversation in itself. This whole, I participated, but where's you can't win if you only participate, and there's a whole emotional intelligence and emotional like stature, I don't know the words for it, that goes behind when you win and all the work that goes into winning.
Yeah,
like
the payoff is even greater when you put in all that work. Instead of, you just barely doing it half-assed and you still get a trophy. Like, that's why we got so many losers in the world now.
There's no drive.
There's no drive.
Not at all.
And that's why we don't have that many men. We have so many men that's just happy being his wife's, boyfriend. You know what I mean? Like, they're just happy to be with their wife instead of being the one that leads the whole relationship.
And a lot of people not agree with that, where that conversation will go. But that is important. Like, if you, as a man, I feel like, as a man, you've got to take that role, even, and not for everybody. If it's not for everybody, but this is how I live. Is I'm gonna get up, take care of my life, take care of my wife, my baby, work hard, be honest. Those types of things, and it all leads into a leadership role. And not to say Shannon's not a leader in her own aspect. She does a lot of great and amazing things, and leads in a lot of ways.
But she probably, it comes with feminine energy, like being a great mom, being a great cook,
Yes, because if I come
being
home,
the brains, but
yes. If I come home, and she. I couldn't do. I don't know how to play as well.
Yeah.
With Violet, I play with her,
especially with a little girl.
Yeah, because I try my best and I play, but Shannon's just so good at it.
Yeah.
And then same with just all the stuff that you're getting at. She's much better than I am in a million ways, but as my job is to make that a possibility instead of leaving us, kind of ragged out in our Stephenville apartment. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That little 500 square foot place with no AC.
What?
And
y'all
it was
had no
just
AC?
Oh my gosh, dude. And no central air. You open the door and it would just it was.
Oh man, that's tough, and that's true. And I feel like there's been like a war on our norms of the gender. You know what I mean? People have made it seem like men and women are supposed to do the same thing when that's not true. Each has specific talents. Just like you can't play with Violet as good, and you're not as probably as lovey and getting kissy lovey-dovey with her. Just like she can't probably build some wood and
well, picking up some of the stuff at the restaurant.
Yeah,
she'll do it, but there's some stuff that she obviously can't, and there's some stuff that
she's a little,
and some females could. It's it's not even like that, and that's where you get into that conversation of what's proper and what's not, and that's what's killing everybody is the fact that we have to watch what we say about having a.
It's not that we're saying that you can't do it. That's not what we're saying at all. We're saying that you have better talents that suited somewhere else.
Yes, and if you go with those talents and you go with those things, it typically leads up for better for both people and the relationship as a whole. And that's not too much of this whole masculinity and you stay on the side and I'm gonna do it and I'm the man type thing. And that's not what
that's not
both
what
of us trying to get across. It's not at all.
It's teamwork.
Absolutely, 100%. I couldn't do anything I do without Shannon.
Me either. Whenever I watch my son, I don't cook the same thing my wife cooks for him. You know what I'm saying? Like she makes him a fruit bowl with kiwis and little grapes and all. I feed him. I make him some fries.
Yeah, exactly.
In the air fryer, you know, I just put some fries in there. Here you go, son.
Mm-hmm.
You want some chips?
You good?
Yeah. You good?
Yeah.
You want some water? Let me check your diaper. All right, you good?
That's what I have to tell Shannon all the time is like when Violet kind of bumped her head the other day. She knocked her head. Not a big deal. And I said, you got to let her.
Yeah.
Like, let it happen. Don't go. But she wants to go over there immediately and pick her up and love her and cuddle her and hug her.
Yeah.
But that's the difference in myself and her. And she's great with it. She said, you're right. Go, let it happen.
Yeah, it's their natural instinct, though.
Mm-hmm. And that's the difference in if you don't have the balance. If you don't have the balance and you have one side, you could have someone who's, you know, I feel like as much responsibility and not as guided. It's hard to make decisions. You know, like I've looked for guidance throughout business from a lot of people. Yeah. Like my dad, my grandparents, and specifically just, you know, how I did it. This isn't for anybody else, but for our business and my purposes, it was always my granddad and my papa. And just ask for that honesty and that advice, you know, because that type of leadership is good for me. Like, and then that type of just affirmation, I guess that's a good word for it, of, hey, this sounds stupid. And most times, sometimes they tell me it sounds stupid, and I do it anyway. Yeah. But then I know, like. Yeah,
then you fuck up and you see, oh, yeah, you were right, you know.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. but, you know, I wouldn't have started Fresh Prep if I'd have listened to everything I was told. We were. I'd probably just be working on the windmills or something. Yeah. And that was just them trying to, you know, say, you need to stay with the windmills. It was a safety net because they knew that was a good job. And there's a lot of great men who do those types of things.
Yeah, and that's just their personal path, you know.
That's theirs. And that's what they, you know, teachers and coaches, yada, yada, they all have great jobs. They have retirements.
Yeah. Like they could retire at a good age with a nice little pension, which a lot of people will not. A lot of people, you know, that's probably working at Walmart, and they probably just work there so they have the freedom to go party and this and that.
Do whatever.
But then there's people out there at the old fields, windmills, and they're working 60 hours. But at some point, they're going to get to retire.
And that's another thing that needs to be known if you do go down the entrepreneurship path. And I don't even do it. So, like, this is not me preaching to the choir. This is saying, hey, I'm screwing up. Get that retirement in line. Because that's like, think about it. Like, if you start as a teacher, and when you retire, you essentially get like 70% of your salary. And maybe that's not true for every case. I just know that because that's my family. Yeah. So if you're making, just to make numbers easy, no teachers are making $100,000 a year. But let's just make numbers easy. Yeah. Right? You're making $100,000 a year, you retire, you get 70 a year. You know. You get it. So if they're making $50,000 a year, you get $35,000 a year. Yeah. You can live on that. Like, no kids, maybe the house got paid off by the time you're there. You can live on that. Entrepreneurs, if I got $300,000 in the bank, it's like, oh, it sounds good.
Yeah, but you got taxes.
6 years later, on $50,000 a year, that's it, and you're broke at that point if you don't continue acquiring wealth or
investing in the correct
passive income, whatever it takes. Which kind of scares me a little bit, but that fear is what drives everything we do. Yeah, fear is good.
Yeah, because that's something I was actually listening to. This also comes back to the men thing. The way to make the world safe is not to make weak men, because those are the ones that's gonna go off blasting and do irrational stuff because they don't have confidence in themselves. The way to make the world a safe place is to make strong men, but let them have control, teach them control. And if there's strong men in every room, people ain't gonna step out of line. No. Because they know that every room you step into, there's gonna be 20 dudes that could beat your ass. You know,
and not only physically strong, that like you're saying that, but just
mentally
confident, mental. What do you call it? Just sharp.
Yeah, like
sharp.
Like just being aware of yourself.
And it's too hard to find that in this age. Like the old school people, they're not right about a lot of things. Yeah, they were wrong about a lot of stuff. Yeah, but you know, at the end of the day, like there's some straight shooters. Like if I want some advice, like I said,
they're gonna tell you straight. Like,
I ask, hey, how's my food today? I've gotten a good answer one time. Yeah. Like I've gotten a good answer once out of probably the 20 times I asked, but it's always loving criticism. But they're not afraid to. They're not gonna. Oh, it was so good.
Yeah.
I love that.
Like, you know. But I remember when I was, me and my girl wasn't doing the best, and then I was over there visiting my grandma, and she was like, you're not a boy no more. And this was when I was, 22? She's like,
Uh-huh.
you're not a little boy no more. You need to step up.
Yeah.
I was like, shit. Like,
Yeah.
I do need to step up and,
That happened to me. Speaking of that, my grandma
Yeah.
and your grandma, I showed up to my brother's basketball game
Yeah.
the other day late. I was
Mhm.
late by a quarter. And after the game, that's the first time my Grammy has put me in line
Yeah.
in a long time. She said, hey, what are you doing? Like, you need to get there early and stuff. And I was like, dang, you're right.
Yeah.
I just came to watch him and not show up late.
Yeah.
Kind of look like bummy or
Mhm,
something. Just
that's
kind of,
true.
and like you said, the point of you're not a kid anymore.
Yeah.
Like this is, even though that's and that's kind of hard being a young man is to, because that's what we are, honestly. I mean, we
Mhm.
can be as grown as we want, but
Yeah.
all the experience we have is based on young
Yeah, just young
male
living. Yeah.
energy, whatever that was, and
Mhm.
whatever that turned into. Because a lot of people didn't live what we did. They,
Mhm.
or, they do their own things, but still, their mental is still developed off of their experience, and it's still young because they don't have the older
Yeah.
experience yet.
Something that I will say though is even though I didn't graduate from Tarleton with a
Mhm,
degree or
me neither.
anything, I feel like moving away from my parents actually helped me develop as a man. Just being
Yeah.
on my own, having to do my own laundry, having to figure out where my food was gonna come
Yes.
from, and that actually helped me grow because I came back, to the city where I'm from,
Mhm.
and I've met people who have never left, and they still have the same high school mentality, and I'm like, what are you doing, man? Like, but I will say they don't know no better, but I will encourage people to move away for a couple years. Go
It's
go live
important.
by yourself.
Just if nothing else, get a 6-month lease and just
Yeah.
say you did it. Like if you're not gonna do any more than that, do that and force yourself to live on your own. Cause if
what?
you don't
You-
have to rely on somebody.
You working at Walmart? They got WalMarts everywhere. I'm sure you could get transferred. I'm sure you
Mhm.
could apply at the other one. Just go see what life is like somewhere else.
You really need to try it, and it's gonna suck. And that's the thing that you've got to change. What I said earlier, you've got to change that mindset.
Mhm.
Because if you look at, I got to pay for my laundry, or I got to pay for bills, this and that, that's going to sound hard, and it is going to be hard. But once you do it, like you gain like a level of confidence
Yeah.
that you can't pay for at home.
Yeah, that you could actually survive in this world.
Hmm.
That fear is gone. Because I remember when I first moved, I was like, damn, like I'm leaving all my family, my
Mhm.
brothers, my sisters, my
Yeah.
mom, and my friends. Like I was a little sad. Like at first, the first like month leading up to moving day at college, I was excited. But that last day when I was
Yeah.
actually driving off, I was all tearful and like,
man.
damn, yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm really doing this, but. Like,
you gotta like going through with it.
Yeah,
Like it sounds
yeah.
good until you gotta do it.
Yeah, and I was driving away, just just
Through
sniffling
the Arlington streets.
Yeah, got on the highway real quick, and I
Heck
just,
yeah.
But
when you do it and get over that hump, like it's a lot. You've got to go get an apartment. You've got to apply for things. Like it's gonna take a lot of work and a lot of capital. Like
Yeah.
it's going to take money to move out,
Mhm.
and that's what people think. Oh, I'll just move out. Like you need to plan for that and be ready for that, or don't, and just do it. Just do
Yeah.
it. Like
Because some people live to the extremes. Because I've seen where people, men, it's easier for men than it is for women, but men could go out and live in their car and just work a job until they have
Mhm.
enough for their apartment. What, it's going to take you like 2 weeks to have a deposit for an apartment? About a month?
if you're
Yeah.
about that,
Yeah,
why not?
It takes extremes to be successful. You're not going to be successful being average, you know what I mean?
No, and a lot of times it takes like rock bottoms too. Like
Yeah.
I wasn't, when we started our stuff, I wasn't in the greatest of places, as far as mental and this and that like real just, what am I? Who am I?
Yeah, yeah.
And so sometimes it takes like not being in a good position though, or saying, man, I've been at home for so long now.
Yeah.
Like my dad comes in here again, and and this and that, whatever it takes for you. Just I would encourage people just to not let it get there if you don't have to.
Yeah.
But if it takes that, that's what it takes. It can
Just think about how far you could come in like 8 months. Because I remember
do a lot.
almost like a year ago, I was sleeping on an air mattress in my brother's apartment because,
Mhm.
just stuff had happened. Me and my girl was sleeping on the floor and shit. And now we have our own place,
Yep.
our own furniture. We have money in the bank accounts. Like, bills is not like a worry.
Yeah.
And, like, life is just abundant at this point, but it's because I applied myself and I did stuff that nobody else would do. I had 2 jobs during the week, and on the weekend I would go do some moving.
Yep.
And that's 3 jobs. I ain't have no free time.
But it's not about free time at that point. You're on the floor.
But now my son has a place to put his toys without bothering nobody, and it's really about hard work and how bad do you want it.
Yeah, because right before we started Dyna, that company that contracted Fresh Prep, we knew they were going to contract us. We had spoken with them, met with them. I had no idea what we were doing. I had no idea. We just met with these, this is, they're on the stock market.
Sheesh.
They're a public company. Their main head honcho is from Switzerland.
Sheesh.
I don't know what I'm doing in business meetings, and I'm going in there. I, wrote up my own contracts, kind of looking at another corporate contract from another college, and I wrote it all up, and I went in there with no idea what I was doing, because I knew at home, me and Shannon were like, hey, what do we need to sell to live until we get this contract? When that money comes in, because like you said, we were living in I don't mean a barn with hay, but it was a barn. I will send you pictures. I wish you could see it now. Like you say, same situation. No money. Living in a barn, basically. Yeah. Waiting on something good to happen. And we knew it was coming because we had secured that contract somehow. I don't know. But yeah, if you're not willing to tough it out through those times, if you crack then and move back in, or you crack, even if you move back in, as long as you're out of the house. My granddad had a good rule for anybody who moved back in with him or needed a place to stay. Hey, you got 14 days. Wow. That's it. I'll give you $5 for gas a day. That is it. And you got to be out of the house by 7, and you can't come back in until 7. That was his rule.
Hey, that's great. That means you're going to have to go out there and get it.
Without not supporting your family. Yeah. If there are people who need it and you care about them, and, whoever it is, that's just, if you can't get a job in 2 weeks, figure it out then. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's too many. Especially right now, people say, oh, I can't get a job. I know, I get emails every day on my phone who's hiring.
You can get a job.
Yeah.
You can get a job.
Man, but I appreciate you coming by today, man. It's already been a whole hour. Time flies, and it honestly feels like it's been a great episode. I appreciate you coming by.
No, thanks for having me. I'm glad I finally got out here, man.
Yeah, man. Tell the people where your restaurant's at.
That's in Walnut Springs, Texas, which is about an hour south of DFW. You can go to www.omaleens.com. That's OMALEENS.com. And then social media is the same. Leens, Facebook, social media. I don't do Instagram as much. I need to. Facebook's where to find us.
Yeah, Facebook is a good spot for business.
Yeah.
But this is episode 4 of the Red Pill Experience. I appreciate everybody who's listening on Spotify, if you're watching on YouTube, and the thousands of listeners on FBRN.US coming live from Globe Life Park. We are out.